So I'm so excited to bring my friend Lisa Marree in for today's edition of Ray of Sunshine. As you guys know, this whole thing is about highlighting and really just drawing a big spectacle spotlight on very beautiful, amazing, inspiring, and transformative people that I am so honored and blessed to have in my life and who bless me exponentially on a daily basis in ways that I don't know if it's a we don't give people credit for certain things or not, or just I like I like expressing my number one love language, which is words of encouragement and affirmation and giving people credit for the awesomeness that they are. So without further ado, this is Lisa Marree, and Lisa and I have only known each other technically a relatively short time, but in this relatively short time that's taken place, she's like a sister from another mister, soul sister, whole thing. We vibe on just about all of the levels. And from our very first interaction on LinkedIn to our very first Zoom conversation, and then beyond that, it's just one continuous beautiful moment after another. So Lisa, thank you for being a ray of sunshine in my life. Thank you for all of your encouragement and your encouraging words and all the ways that you are just regularly showcasing the people that you love in your life. And you've made so many just very, very sweet LinkedIn posts about something that I've said or done or a conversation that we've had, and it touches my heart and my soul every single time. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being you.
You are most welcome. And I think it all started similarly, is you had me at hello.
That's right.
Oh dear. Clearly you've been living on another planet if you've not watched that movie.
Oh yeah, Jerry Maguire told.
Yeah. It's just who I am. It's who I've always been, but I've not been living that person. So now that I am, I just love doing it. And I think it's really important. People, because of the slippery slide humanity can be on, people don't get recognized just for the general wonderful things that they do every day on a daily basis. And I love to shout that out from the rooftops or the mountaintops. I love climbing mountains, so we'll go mountains.
Well, you and I are very similar in a variety of ways, but that's a big thing that I like to do too, which is why this whole series of Ray of Sunshine exists, to be a place like, with whether it's podcasting or just, everybody has a show. Everybody's got a show. And most of the shows are you invite somebody on that's a quote unquote expert in something or other, and you ask them a bunch of questions about the things that they do, and how to do this and how to do that, and all that stuff is good, fine, and well. I've been on several of those. I love those opportunities. What I enjoy most, though, is getting to have just conversations with people and interact on more of a human to human basis, and then also just be able to say, hey, you're freaking awesome. I'm not asking you for answers for anything. I just want to tell you and the whole world how freaking incredible you are.
Yay. And well, thank you so much. And I received that. And once upon a time I wouldn't. I would just sort of brush it off and say thank you, but not actually mean it. These days I actually mean it. And it's a big thing to receive. We spoke about this, I think, in one of the posts that was actually Kristen Vaughan. And so and I just don't do it online. I'm out walking every day, and I make a point of smiling and saying hello to people, because most people walk with their head down.
Yeah.
And you just need to see their face light up when someone's actually connected eyeball to eyeball, said hello to them and smiled. Like it's just turning a light on for them, and that moment has probably made their day.
It's interesting because what you just described sounds a lot like Texas. So much of, and it's not all across the board, but one of the things that I notice when I go to other states in the US, I live in a small town in Texas. It's not always true in every single city you go to. Like, you can go to Dallas and you get a bit of it, but not as much. or Houston or El Paso or other places, but like a lot of people, like when you look at somebody, a lot of people don't look you in the eye. They certainly don't smile all the time. Holding the door open for somebody just as a kind gesture. I grew up in the South, so from a very young age, my dad was like, "You hold the door open for a lady." So that's just like, that's ingrained. But like whether it's a guy or a girl, doesn't matter. Holding the door open for somebody, and then like keeping the door held open while somebody's like coming, instead of just like letting
Yes,
it close in front of them. These are just like, to me, they're simple gestures as a way of conveying, hey, you're a beautiful human being and I value you. We don't have to have
yes.
an interaction. We don't have to exchange names or numbers or anything like that. None of that stuff matters. I can acknowledge you and the God force inside of you by just doing something simple as smiling at you, asking how you are, or even like, I like to notice things about people. I can't help it. If somebody's wearing a cool shirt, I'm gonna freaking tell them they're wearing a cool shirt. If somebody's
Yes,
wearing
yes.
shoes that are fantastic, I'm like, dude, you have fantastic shoes. And not just saying, hey, I like your shoes. You have fantastic shoes. The energy that we use to convey what it is that we're feeling also has merit and also like sends a vibration out that can totally change somebody's day. Their eyes
Yes.
can light up. You might see them smile, then they might not have smiled in weeks and you have no idea.
On that note, I actually acknowledged a lady who was wearing a beautiful blue. She was, I'm assuming, a more senior Afro-American because
Mhm.
her hair was grey. It was all standing up. It was wiry. She had these blue frame glasses and a beautiful blue shirt on, but she was promoting her crafty thing that she had just done. And I said in the comment, oh my gosh, that blue is absolutely stunning on you.
Mm.
And she replied back the next day, because we live in Tomorrowland. Um, it's morning here and it's evening for you guys.
Mhm.
Um, that she said, "Oh, that just made my day. Thank you so much." And it doesn't take much, does it? Doesn't take much at all, but you can really shift someone's Debbie Downer day to helping them feel like they still matter. They still matter on this planet.
Well, I want you to talk a little bit about the work that you do because it's very significant. And also I want you to have the opportunity to be able to share with the people that are in my circle and my audience and everything, to create opportunities for you to be able to work with more people. But
Sure.
I'm curious, this is a belief that I've had for a very long time, and I've experienced this over and over and over again to confirm that it's true. It doesn't matter what your love language is. It doesn't matter whether it's gifts or if it's physical touch or if it's acts of service or if it's um, words of affirmation. Is is that 4 or 5? I think I've said off acts of service. I got to count now. Okay, gifts, acts of service, personal, physical touch, uh, words of affirmation,
Time.
time, quality time. Thank you. That's the other one. It doesn't matter what your love language is. Everyone recognizes and responds to words of affirmation.
Yes.
Not everybody can recognize when somebody's giving you quality time and seeing it the way that you see it. Not everybody can recognize acts of service. They might just think you're being nice, or they might not even notice that it's being done because it's not on their radar. Physical touch, yeah, you can notice that because obviously there's more face-to-face interaction that's taking place. And gifts, usually you can notice that too. But words of encouragement, words of affirmation, I found, especially for people in leadership positions. If you're in a leadership position, business, civic institution, church, something in your community, in your family, make a practice. If that's not your love language, learn it. It's easy. It's relatively easy to shift into saying something complimentary and kind, not nice, but kind to people on the regular. Notice how things change. And you just exhibited your story, like you made a comment to somebody, and when they got back to you, totally revolutionized their life. And I'm curious, from your work in coaching and your work in mindset and the things that you do that is so transformative in people's lives, has that been something you've experienced as well?
Um, I actually want to backtrack and give you a 1 or 2 minute snapshot of where I've come from, because I did not arrive this way.
Okay. Yes.
Most people don't. So uh, quite commonly, you know, my dad left when I was 4. A lot of people experience split relationships as a kid growing up. But I was left with my mother, who had violent psychiatric narcissistic illness, and she was in and out of psychiatric institutions for our entire time until I left home. So I was neglected, I was abused physically and emotionally, and literally tormented. So all of that was very foreign to me. I was a runaway teenager. I had anorexia nervosa, because food disorders are actually power play. It's the only thing you can control. So think of that very masochistic act. Then eventually ran away to the army. So I lived my entire life, my entire first 17 and a bit years at home, in absolute fear. Law enforcement were always involved. I was almost a ward of the state. So it was ugly. And, you know, to bookend that childhood, my sister actually committed suicide just last October. She never grew out of the darkness. And even though I'm in my 50s, it took me literally 4.5 decades for a moment to happen where my heart opened up. Even though during that time I was in the military, I was a medical scientist, I was a multi-six-figure holistic wellness and business coach in all of this time. But I was driven by angry desire, and I was successful, but I was unfulfilled. There becomes a moment in time, Dee, where you meet yourself. And I've had years and years of unfolding. Jim Rohn was one of my mentors. I was very blessed to spend so much time with him. So I've had high-level personal development. I've done a lot of spiritual work. I've been connected to metaphysics since I was 14. And where I am now, what I stand for, this is not my business I help people with. What I stand for on a spiritual level is really digging deep inside somebody's soul and showing them how to unlock the innate supernatural abilities and unlimited belief system that they have already within them. But then I talk normal language and transform that into, I work with heart-centered entrepreneurs who, you know, either from startup to trying to scale, who they're stuck. They're doing all the things and they're stuck, and they're unseen. So I help with the mindset shifts and the energy shifts to help them become a CEO in their business, to have the clarity of messaging and action and offers and all of those things, so that they can multiply their income, scale their business, to be that beautiful world changer and legacy maker that they were absolutely born to be, for the purpose that they're meant to live on this planet. That's it, the end.
Winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So you and I have very similar missions. I'm not sure if we've had this conversation in this grandest capacity, but there's different ways that I serve people. There's the growth farming side, personal growth and development, storytelling, teaching life lessons, all that stuff. There's the business side of helping businesses tell their story to connect with the heart and souls of their customers, because most people don't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do that for a long time. But taking those two things and putting them together, I know that my mission in life, it's becoming more and more clear, but very similar to what you just said. My job, the reason why I incarnated here, is to help people be able to see the version of love that their souls came here to embody.
Yes.
Because we're all love, and we all are just like there's a certain amount of me that is, there's a certain amount of me that makes my height. I'm 5'7". I wasn't given the gene to go any higher than that. And that's totally fine. I resisted that for a long time, but I'm totally down with it. There's a certain thing about me that gives me my facial hair and doesn't let the facial hair grow over here or over here. Yeah, I'm working on that. But all of us have certain chemical makeups. There's a certain chemical makeup to the different aspects of love that I came here to embody. I know that I came here to embody high levels of kindness, high levels of gentleness in a masculine frame. Also, high levels of strength and confidence and power that my coach told me. He's like, well, you're like 6 foot something, right? And I'm like, no, dude. He's like, why did I think that you're like 6'4" and like this giant person? I'm like, I don't know. I guess it must be something about the guy that's inside of me. But all of that to say, I am here to embody this version, the David Grant Smith version of me. And I'm here to help people like you are, and you have this ability, Lisa, to recognize the superpowers in other people and call that out and help them be able to see themselves through this different lens, this different frame that they weren't able to see before, and then embody that version of love. And I'm so honored and so overjoyed to get to share this journey with you and have these kind of conversations and piggyback off of each other in different ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel exactly the same.
Winner.
High vibing together.
Well, thank you so much for, I was going to say thank you so much for the work that you do, but I know it's not the work. For you, it's you showing up and being yourself. And we have very similar stories. We've been talking about this in messaging and different things, but this evolutionary process of I used to be this way and not have the capacity to understand the things that I have the capacity to understand now.
Yes.
I used to shrink back and I used to not speak for my voice. I used to say things that I thought people wanted to hear so that they would accept me. I used to be afraid of actually saying what it is that I wanted and how it was that I felt, because I thought if I did that, then they're not going to like me. And then I'm going to lose this person that I love, or this connection, or this friendship, or whatever. And one of the things about going through difficulties and challenges and fires is if you let it, this is what Mike and I were talking about an hour ago. If you let that fire do its job, that stuff that was never supposed to be a part of you in the first place gets burned off, and you find your voice and you find the aspects of yourself and your soul, and you start putting on the real you. And it's like, whoa, my arms never felt this strong before. My legs never felt this good before. My voice has never been like this before.
It's that unencumbered soul speaking. So I think you also asked me, where will people find me?
How can people find you?
LinkedIn. That's where we do all our chats. And my name is tricky. And that's another conversation, Dee, because Marree used to be my middle name and now it's my last name. So my website is lisamarree.com. So Marree also has 2 R's and 2 E's. Lisa, MARREE.com. And you can reach out to me there as well. And I'm happy to have a chat. And yeah, I've just, I'm together, Dee, you and I are just going to keep spreading our fairy dust and rays of sunshine on people across the galaxy in the multiverse.
Yes, winner.